Today in Cloud Gaming News, we're going to be doing a bit of catch up on some major headlines that happened over the past week, but I'll also be throwing in some news stories to talk about. We'll be discussing Amazon Luna, Google Stadia, and GeForce NOW. But to start off with, let's talk about PlayStation. Just last week, they recently held a State of Play event in which they talked about some new games coming to the PlayStation 5 and PS4 platform. Among the announcements was a new gameplay trailer for the title Stray, a game where you play as a cat in this futuristic setting as you travel about. It was announced that Stray will be launching directly into the PlayStation Plus Extra tier on July 19th, day 1. And since it is a cross-gen game with a PS4 version, I would say it's safe to assume that it will be available to stream on the PlayStation Plus Premium tier. As a reminder, the PlayStation Plus Premium tier, while it does offer game streaming for PS1, PS2, PS3, PSP, and PS4 games, PS5 titles are still not streamable. I'm really hoping that changes sometime in the near future, because as of right now, there's no way to play PlayStation 5 exclusives through the cloud on any service. Be sure to stay tuned to the channel for all you need to know on the latest PlayStation Plus Premium tier. I will be covering it as soon as it's available in North America. But now let's move over to Xbox and talk about the latest games coming to Game Pass Ultimate and those that are cloud enabled. In case you missed it, 6 games were announced coming to Game Pass for the month of June, and that includes the likes of Assassin's Creed Origins, For Honor Marching Fire Edition, Chorus, Disc Room, Ninja Gaiden Master Collection, and lastly, Spacelines from the Far Out. It's worth pointing out that Origins, For Honor, Chorus, Disc Room, and Ninja Gaiden are all available in the cloud, but originally on the Xbox blog post itself, Ninja Gaiden did not have the cloud tag. At this point in time, Spacelines from the Far Out is also missing that tag, but who knows, it might be a surprise addition much like Ninja Gaiden. We're waiting on Origins, Chorus, Disc Room, and Spacelines to be added to Game Pass, and they'll be there by tomorrow, June 7th. As games come, games go on Game Pass as well, and leaving June 15th, we have Darkest Dungeon, Dungeons & Dragons Dark Alliance, Greedfall, Limbo, and Worms Rumble. All in all, a pretty decent month for Game Pass members, especially if you're a fan of the Ninja Gaiden series. That Master Collection is well worth playing if you're into tough action games. Now let's switch gears and talk about some Amazon Luna related news. This in particular has more to do with their game studios. And that's because they've entered a publishing agreement with Disruptive Games and their upcoming multiplayer action-adventure game, Super Secret Project. Not too much is known about the game itself, but if you're curious as to who Disruptive Games is, well, they've worked on projects like Diablo 2 Resurrected and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1+2. Now I do want to point out that at this point in time, none of the Amazon Game Studios titles have actually launched on Amazon Luna, but I do expect that to change over time. Regardless, at the very least, we have seen their big hit titles actually launch on GeForce NOW. At the end of the day, I'm sure we'll see Super Secret Project on the clouds one way or another. But now let's talk about Google Stadia. First up, I just want to quickly recap that there are 7 new additions to the Stadia Pro lineup, and that includes the likes of Lake, Golf with Your Friends, Ben 10 Power Trip, Tohu, Death Run TV, Through the Darkest of Times, and Deliver Us the Moon. Honestly, it's a very impressive lineup. Sure, no big AAA titles, but there are very good quality indie titles here. Notably, Death Run TV is launching day and date into Stadia Pro. As I've been saying for quite some time now, each and every month we're starting to see Stadia Pro get more and more titles. We're getting to the point where Stadia's best offering isn't so much the ability to buy games on their own, which don't get me wrong, it's a great thing to have, but it does seem like Stadia Pro seems to be where a lot of the attention is placed, and honestly speaking, I think it's for the better. As a new player, signing into Stadia Pro gives you access to over 50 pretty good quality titles, and with that, you're more than likely to be willing to spend a few dollars here and there on the platform the more you play it. The next topic I want to discuss about Stadia is something relatively new, but I do want to point out that it is completely a rumor. Do not take this as anything more than speculation until it's officially confirmed from EA. Twitter user @DongTrading is somebody who focuses specifically on FIFA Ultimate Team and news surrounding the latest FIFA installment. And just yesterday, they started posting about crossplay information regarding FIFA 23. And that's that the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, PC, Steam, and Stadia version of the game will be crossplay compatible. In addition to that, it was also stated that the game will not support crossplay on PS4 and Xbox One. Crossplay will be enabled for all game modes including FIFA Ultimate Team. There will be one single transfer market, and it can be turned off and on. Obviously, the big news here is that Stadia does get a mention in terms of crossplay support, which is to say that a Stadia version exists. I know this is something extremely important to a lot of people out there in the Stadia community, and rightfully so. FIFA is one of the biggest game franchises of all time. But there have been a lot of doubts about whether or not the game will make its way to Stadia, considering the latest Madden was just confirmed not to be in development for Stadia, and that Google's previously announced EA game deal is now up. Speaking for myself here, I do really believe that FIFA 23 will find its way to Stadia. The game is simply that important, and if there were ever a game that Google should be paying for to make sure it arrives on Stadia, it would be this one. Not to mention, it would be weird to hold those crossplay tests that they held for Stadia and the other platforms just a few weeks ago and then not actually bring it to Stadia after all. Either way, with Summer Games Fest just around the corner, we shouldn't be waiting too long to hear any sort of official word about FIFA 23 launching later this year from EA themselves. And now let's move over to the last bit of news, and it has to do with a new instant free play demo available on GeForce NOW. The title in question is titled Hell Pie, which is described as an obscene 3D platformer that takes bad taste to the next level. As with all of the GeForce NOW demos, it's absolutely free to play regardless of what tier you're subscribed to, be it free, priority, or the 3080 tier. And with that, we've wrapped up all the cloud gaming news of the day. If you enjoyed the video or found it helpful at all, be sure to hit that like button as it really does help the channel out, and if you're wanting more content like this, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell as well. Thanks for your patience with this video. I know a lot of it is catch up, but I haven't been uploading too much last week. Thankfully, everything should be back to schedule this week, and I wanted to get all the news from last week into this video so we can start focusing on the new stuff each and every day this week. And it should be a very exciting one too, considering Summer Games Fest is right around the corner. So stay tuned for that and more, and as always, thanks for watching the video. This has been the Virtual Cloud, giving you the latest and greatest on everything cloud gaming related, and until next time, I'll catch you in the clouds.